move my body.
Thomas and Friends, The Branchline Chronicles, Episode 6, The Accident That Started It All, Blast from the Past. This episode goes 4 days back into when the accident that started it all. One day in 1925. April, in fact. Thomas was shunting in Knapford Yards.
Bailey, he just kicked him.
When Edward was backing up to talk to Thomas, nothing bad was going on, but something bad could happen. But when what was happening, they could hear whistling sounds. Okay.
Who wants me to start the thing?
No, don't. Start saying, "Help! They're pushing me! They're pushing me!" As soon as he comes straight through the station. On, laughed the cars. Thomas noticed that it was James, and he said, "James!" Stop, Thomas, come back. Say that. Stop, Thomas, come back. James! And then when he gets closer, like right here, you need to say, "Help, I'm coming off the rails." Yeah. Thomas started thinking to himself, "Wow, Edward was right. Cars can really push an engine off the rails." "Stay right here, James. I'll go and get help." Thomas steamed through Knapford to go and get the breakdown train help him. He made it to Elsbridge Yards and stopped at the switch. He wondered which cars to take, but this wasn't an easy decision. He went all the way back to the edge of the yards to grab the breakdown train. He was coupled, or was supposedly coupled, and set off. And headed for James's accident. Thomas steamed over Gordon's Hill and was coming to the point where he had to stop for James's accident. Thomas went around to go in from behind and shunt to collect They shunt the breakdown crane into the right place. Then Thomas went to go take away the unhurt cars. And so, while Thomas had watched, he was watching to see how the breakdown crane would work, and instead of Thomas helping, he decided to go back to the yards. Straight past James's accident, which was completely impossible without the breakdown crane moving, and Thomas steamed off over to Napa. Thomas waited to hear the news. Uncle Edward. Thomas and Edward had wished the accident could have happened on a different day. Yeah. Go. Thomas and Edward just stayed there in the yards, waiting for information on what was going to happen next for James. They didn't know if they were taking him to the steamworks or not. The breakdown crane had lifted James back onto the line. Still, Thomas and Edward were waiting for news about the accident.
Don't put his mouth like he has trouble breathing. Bye.
Then, when James was lifted back onto the rails, Saddam Hat needed to send someone to go collect him and bring him back to the station yard. When Thomas noticed that it was his turn to be the hero and bring James back home. Finally, when Thomas set off to go collect James at Thomas steamed off to go collect James. Thomas steamed off to see the breakdown train and waiting there for him. Instead, James was sitting there. Thomas went around and coupled up behind. When Thomas decided that instead of pulling James from behind, he was thinking that he could pull James from the front. Because James had just decided to pull him from the front. So, as you probably could have imagined, Thomas was coupled up to James, and they set off for the Nefrit yard. Seen through Henry's tunnel and on their way back. Except for Thomas got uncoupled halfway down the line. So instead, when Thomas went back to go and get James, wasn't very happy that he had to go back and get James, but it was because James had got stuck on the...
No. I did it.
James was taking Thomas was taking James to the siding at Henry's tunnel to leave him there until further notice. Then, when Thomas steamed back to the yards, which wasn't that fast because the yards was really close to the tunnel, Edward and Gordon were talking. When Thomas came shunting forward, the coaches for Gordon. Gordon said, "I say, Thomas, do never shunt coaches like that." "Why?" steamed Thomas as soon as he pulled in to the yards.
Big dog, bad.
They were all talking, and when Thomas told them about James and how James was okay from the accident, they were all relieved that James was okay. Now, Thomas said, "I must go back and get James. I accidentally left him back at Henry's tunnel. I'll be right back." Shunting the coaches out of his way on his way through, he shunted the coaches onto an Ellsbridge siding and went to go get James. Thomas did just leave the cars under the accident. Since Thomas left the cars under the accident, He did just leave. He also left through Henry's tunnel and was coming back around to grab James back in the siding. Then, Thomas took James back to Nefrit Yards with him, and he was skinning through. Thomas, when he steamed into the yards, the other engines were glad to relieve that James was okay. Later that day, they decided that they were going to send James to the steamworks to be fixed. This season, Thomas and Friends season 19 roll call. Just look that up. Yeah. Edward, and it flashed in the second. With thunder had flashed, and Thomas noticed that he should get James to the steamworks before the rain completely ruined anything at the yards. So then he steamed off with James onto the steamworks. Thomas and his friends. Thomas, he's the cheeky one. James is vain but lots of fun. Jesse goes from Valentine. Good and thunderstorm the line. Emily really knows his stuff. Henry cheats and puffs and puffs. Edward wants to help and share. Toby, well, let's say he's square. Order 6 and 8. Trucks and trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful too. All the different roles to play. Round to miss shadows far away. Down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and his friends. No, keep it playing.